Hello again, guys. It's Greg Ola Productions here, back again on the PSI channel. And what are we looking at here today? Well, we're going to pull apart, as I said in the previous episode of the Electrolux series, we're going to pull apart this carpet attachment for this particular machine. It's the only other mechanical piece of the vacuum. It's got its own motor in it. And like anything with a motor, or, well, any mechanical device like this, it needs a service. There's no way this doesn't. So, yeah, this thing has never been worked on. It's time to actually do something with it. Because I don't want it to have some kind of terrible, burnout session or whatever, that the thing just suddenly stops working. Okay, speaking of working, this switch is moving. What does this do? Oh, it moves. Oh, okay. This switch moves the brush spindle thing up and down. Interesting. Yeah, by the way, viewers, this entire series, I've just had no idea what I've even been saying. I've been calling the vacuum cleaner Electrolux, which isn't wrong, but it's technically the Electrolux 89, the Eluxomatic or something like that. Oh, man. Yeah, I've been calling my vacuum the wrong model name, which is literally on the machine. That screwdriver's way too big. Yeah, I believe it's the Eluxomatic. It's the Model 89 Eluxomatic. There we go. That sounds more right. Yeah, finally some vacuum cleaner collectors stopped by to see what I was doing. Kind of chaos was ensuing here, and was straightening me around. Also, by searching the Eluxomatic, I was able to find more videos on YouTube, and previously I thought there were none. I was able to find more videos on this particular machine. You know what, before I even start unscrewing out, is there any screws here? Nope. I hope this thing isn't permanently riveted together or something like that. Nope. This is coming out. I'm not going to force this thing apart because then we have no idea what we're... Then that's how you break it. I'm not going to force this thing apart because that's how you entirely break it. Okay, that's a fairly long screw. Where can I put that? I'll stick it in some container. There we go, in the parts container. Okay, now we'll get our other one off. Oops. There we go. Yeah, these screws are not particularly... Well, they're coming off, but they're not exactly the easiest screws I've ever had to undo. They are a bit tight. Not the hardest ones by a long shot, either. Yep. Okay, let's see how this goes apart now. Yeah. Okay, now nothing's happening. Go figure. How does this come apart? So, one of a few things could be happening. Either A, this doesn't take anything apart, or B, it's been attached together for so long that it's actually just stuck at the moment. I don't even know. There appears to be no, there's a seam running along this way, but I don't see anything to, well, except for right here. I don't really see anything else to help us get this thing open. Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe it does come apart in one way or another. I think it might actually come apart this way. Huh, okay. Let's take a screwdriver and let's try and get in there. Being very gentle with this. There it is. There we go. So it is, okay, so yeah, it is the second of the two things. Oops. I should get this up and out of here. This seems a little tight on this end. I'm kind of scared to do any prying there. This badge is riveted on, looks like. Okay. Is this the only piece that wants to come off? Or does it all want to come off? Oh boy, oh boy. I think this is the only way. Prying it up like that with a screwdriver. very gently. Don't want to wreck it. That's the goal. Yeah. Yeah, how many of you vacuum cleaner collectors actually service this stuff? That's what I'm interested to know. How many of you guys come in here and actually work on your machines, if you use them at all? Oh, come on. Is this glued together in one way or another? I'm scared about that corner right there. That thing is somehow glued on in one way or another. Anyway. Does this come off somehow? Looks like it lifts. Looks like this cover lifts over this piece here. Oh boy. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's what it looks like. This isn't a perfect looking, you know, attachment by any means, viewers. I know I'm kind of marring up the plastic a little bit over here. This thing is already banged up anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world that this is. Oh, does this switch have to come off somehow? Oh, this has to. Shoot, how does this switch come off? Oh no. Maybe it's not even any of this other stuff holding on. Maybe it's just this guy. See, I don't even know what, I don't know what the inside of this looks like. The only real view you got is this right here. Shoot. Yeah, I got no idea. And there's a wheel here, there's a roller here. Oh boy. So if you pull on something or if you try and force it, that's one really nice way to break it. Try and run my screwdriver around here, pry it up and off. Oh boy. It's very kind of rubbery, kind of soft, weird plastic that they used for this thing. Or at least there's a rubber ring on this. I don't know, it's kind of strange plastic. It's very durable, but I can see a motor in there. I can see part of something. Oh my gosh. How does this come apart here? It's a switch with no screws on it, looks like. And it's just gotten stuck again. Just gonna... Oops. Oh boy. Yeah, that switch has nothing on it. How in the world does this come apart? It has to come apart via the seam here. It has to. There's nothing else that would even get this apart. Oh boy. How does this come apart? There has to be a, well, as you can see, there's a center section here where the hose can attach on and pull the air through here. There's no screw holes in there. I'm just curious if there is something there that we can use. I see nothing down there that looks like we can use it. I see nothing down there that says, oh yeah, I'm a screw, unscrew me. I see nothing down there that even even remotely looks like something I can unscrew. That's not any good. And of course, there's the entrance to that area right there. We actually may have gotten somewhere, viewers. I've just kind of got my hand in here, and I'm just kind of going along the front, and I'm just trying to split this seam here. Trying to create a seam anyway. Yeah. See, I wouldn't even be bothering with this to begin with if I didn't think that, oh, maybe, you know, this is its own machine here. This needs maintaining. This is like 50, 60 years old, this thing. I had a collector tell me on the first part, if you go in the comments section, that this machine is from 1970, apparently. Which I find kind of hard to believe, but it's a later production model. This was designed earlier than that, so. Yeah, this does not look like a 70s vacuum by any means. must have been one of the very last ones they made. One of these Model 89s. And if we could just get the thing open. I wonder if this is a bit of quote-unquote planned obsolescence happening here, where I can't get into this thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just using really trashy screwdriver, guys. This is a pretty yeah, there's not much to say about this screwdriver. Oh well. It's made by Uller, by the way, just in case anyone was interested. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to of course I don't want to wreck this thing. Is that the way it's supposed to come apart, guys? Is that really the way that it's all supposed to work? Or do you guys just never take these things apart so you don't know? Oy, oy, oy. How in the world does this nonsense work? Of course, there's a cord. Plug it in. How in the world does this stuff work? I don't know. I really don't know if that's the way that's supposed to come apart. Oh boy. There's no switches or any weird stuff on this side. Oh. Let's see, what have I got my screwdriver into here? I guess the brush area. Yeah, and there's nothing here that has any type of screw on it or anything that I can take off. There's the roller. How in the world? I wonder if this rubber piece is almost like its own layer or something. Like it's a layer that runs along the side of the vacuum. Or runs along the side of this and then... I don't know. It's very bizarre stuff here, viewers, though. Man, I'm not sure how to get this guy open without destroying it. Because if that plastic cracks or something, then we are in trouble. And of course, the point is to preserve, not to wreck it. I'm not sure if I'm going the right way even. But there's no other way in, so how do you go in? Would Electrolux rather me not even come into this thing and even do anything with it? That is the question. That is the question. I know a lot of people just kind of have these things, they don't work on them. Which, I mean, I can understand that, but, you know, again, this thing needs some kind of maintaining. It's not like it's going to just run forever just like this with absolutely no oil in this thing whatsoever, because, you know, that would have dried up years ago. So even if it runs really smooth, which it does, it makes a really nice noise when this thing is on. You know, you still need to come in here and change the oil. You don't run your car into the ground before giving it an oil change, you know what I mean? Why does everything have to stop working before any maintenance or anything is done to a lot of these products? That's my question. Because I'm pretty sure that's not how it's supposed to work. That's not how this stuff was designed. As far as I know, I don't know, I could be wrong. But these things are tough. Oh wow, that's really moving it up. I think there's something... This doesn't come off, eh? That mechanism's a little stiff. How do you come apart? I hate all the nasty... Look at that. Look what I've done to the side of this thing now. Try and file that off very gently when I'm all done here. Yeah, that is not good. Not good at all. And see this here, does this... I don't want to pry the button off because you know how that will go, but is this some kind of detachable button or is this permanently attached on there? That is a great question. What is going on here? Yeah, let's not destroy this. I think somehow this splits in two, and then this cover comes off, and then everybody's hunky-dory. But said cover has this switch attached to it, and I don't know if that's attached to some mechanical mechanism. Well, it'd be running along the side here probably. But I don't know if said mechanism is attached in here somewhere. Probably not, because it's like moving up like that. Yeah. Very bizarre stuff happening here. I always like a good challenge like this, but this one has me positively stumped at the moment. What can a guy really do? What I'm doing at the moment is taking my screwdriver blade and just running it along this. Well, trying to run it along this anyway. Let's get my other phone out of the way before it gets destroyed somehow. Trying to go in there and just separate all of that, but I don't know, it seems right around this area, it seems very hesitant to come apart. I don't know if that switch has anything to do with it. Okay, viewers, here I am a few days later, and we have managed to get this switch off. So this switch is holding the top of this on here. So we were going the right direction, but, you know, obviously it wasn't the perfect method because we scratched this up a little bit. A darn shame. There probably is a better way of doing that, but I don't know what that is at the moment. So anyway, we've got this, and how the switch even came off. Here's how it sits. Let me just actually get it on there right. I was taking my screwdriver and basically using different flat blades, prying it, you know, getting in there and slowly prying it this way or prying it that way. I had this little guy in there. This is a steel screwdriver, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Yeah, that's how that came off. And there's another piece of plastic right along here which actually broke off. It didn't appear to be very stable on there anyway. Here it is. We might end up gluing that back on, although it doesn't seem to have really much of a purpose. So, and there's a switch. This needs to be filed down. That's the problem with what I was doing, was this got all marred up. This thing isn't in perfect condition anyway, so that's not the end of the world. But, you know, I don't want to make more of a mess than I've, you know, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so we're gonna get the top of this off now. So I am gonna just try and get. I'm trying to pull on it. Yeah, I don't know what the right way to do this is with a screwdriver. Because here we go again. I'm just marring the plastic up some more. This on the front. This needs to all come off. I know there's rubber stuck to this thing. So, again, we need to be careful with this. I'm going to get that switch out of here because we don't want that to go flying somewhere. Yeah, we definitely do not want this to break. So we're just slowly kind of levering it off, sort of, and trying to get it to actually come apart here. I'm just repeating myself at this point. It is coming though. Let's see here. This on the front. I've got my screwdriver down in the front here. It seems to be really stuck around this section here, which is neat. I find that interesting that one particular area, it's just kind of very hesitant to be removed, shall we say. I'll just keep pulling. There's actually nothing over here. I just saw the inside of this. There's nothing in this area. Interesting. I think our motor might be over here somehow. Okay. Why is this so stuck? There's nothing holding that on except for the rubber, I think. Yeah. And of course we gotta be careful because it's literally just old plastic we're dealing with here. I don't know if well, maybe I do have my gloves. I could put my gloves on. We could get this off easier. Trying a different screwdriver. If I was paid to have a pry bar right about now. But I don't have one handy at the moment. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's really stuck on there on the front. So when you're dismantling something, one of the last things you want to see is a rivet anywhere. And it appears that they've riveted the piece of light green plastic to the piece of dark green plastic under that rubber there. And yeah, that's really bad for trying to dismantle this thing. It looks like Electrolux did not want you to come in there and work on it yourself. I don't know what that thing at the back is. That looks like a rivet to me. Maybe some of you Electrolux guys know something about this, but yeah, I found that lurking under the rubber, so that explained why it always feels so tight at the front there. And I looked around the bottom there and I didn't see anything else. So I don't know, guys. I don't know about that. If I need to go in there and work on it, I'll probably be drilling that out somehow or grinding it off, but it's in a really awkward spot. I don't know, guys. I don't know how they did that or how they expected you to get in there, or well, how did they expect a serviceman to get in there and service it? That is the question. So maybe they didn't. Maybe they just said throw it away and buy a new one. I'm not sure. But wouldn't be surprised if planned obsolescence was here a little bit, but otherwise, this vacuum has been really good about that. There hasn't been really any of that up until now. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?